if appointed as the Commissioner of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, appearing before the IEBC Selection Panel, Amutabi termed incitement by politicians as the biggest contributor of electoral violence in the country. Meanwhile, Ambassadors Koki, Muli and Jebet, Chelimo vowed to use their diplomatic experience to advance the success of the electoral body if appointed. The interviews continue next week and are expected to end on 22nd of July 2021.
First to appear before the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Selection Panel on the 8th day of the ongoing interviews was Ambassador Koki Muli. Koki, an advocate of the High Court who once served as the permanent representative in the Kenyan mission to the United Nations, was hard-pressed to convince the panel about her knowledge of the Kenyan electoral process.
So if you are a commissioner and you see a fleet of GK vehicles a few days to the election and the president is campaigning, does the commission have any powers to deal with that?
A lot of times what certain organizations can do is to point out some of the things that are not being done in accordance with the law.
If you look at section 107, the commission has expressed powers to impound state resources that are being used in campaigns.
The second candidate to be interviewed was Ambassador Jebet Chelimo, who was Kenya's High Commissioner to Harare, Zimbabwe. Ambassador Chelimo stressed the need to address the logistical challenges that hinder many Kenyans abroad from taking part in general elections.
We see that IEBC is not fully funded, or not fully, but is not adequately funded. I will be able to be of added value in areas of resource mobilization.
Jebet also vowed to mobilize resources for the commission if appointed.
The challenge they will face voting at the embassy, more or less, is the embassy will be in the capital center of that country, and perhaps as a diaspora you're located far from the embassy and you're required to come. Sometimes they feel that perhaps we should have taken the voting to where they are.
Also seeking to fill one of the 4 vacant positions at the commission is Professor Maurice Amutabi, who pledged to prioritize awareness against hate speech, which he termed as one of the main contributing factors to electoral violence.
Education can be provided, especially education to our leaders, political education, in terms of making the leaders aware that the words they say, the pronunciations, the things they pronounce on certain issues and so on, are sensitive, and they should guard their tongue and what they say. This can be done through consultative processes, through stakeholder education.
The historian recommended the establishment of an internal media department to help the commission have an official channel of communication.
Every electoral body that I have monitored in the world have their own TV and radio station. What do? They counter manipulation. IEBC can establish a radio and a TV station that it becomes official issuance of electoral results.
17 candidates have been interviewed so far, with one candidate having withdrawn his candidature over questionable academic credentials. For Easy Friday, I'm Safin Aching Oma.